And we are returning. Now, if you notice, it says at the top, this is not a bill. 2023 countywide reappraisal, North Carolina, with notice on a real estate value, Gaston County, North Carolina. And when I received this notice, immediately asked for an appeal, and they sent it to the old courthouse in Dallas, North Carolina. And there was only 6 of us. And I was the only person of color there. And the rest of them was older Caucasians. It was 2 couples and 1 single Caucasian female and myself. And I noticed when I was in there that when he came to me, he didn't go into a computer. He just basically got a piece of paper and started writing out some of the things I said, and then gave me the excuse like it was wood, it cost the increase, and the high demand of homes, and this and that, which I don't believe none of that. But the reason why I want to bring up my mother and father, again, is they want to do something similar. Understand, when they do a reappraisal on your home, it justifies Gaston County tax collectors to raise the taxes on your home and property. That will alter your mortgage. If you cannot afford it, it's a way they can force you to sell your home and move out. If you refuse to sell your home and you get behind on your payments, it causes foreclosure. And bringing that up, that's why I went to this site, because my mother and father was involved in this back in 2008 when they were told to get out of the house. They lived on 307 Moore Street, Gaston, North Carolina, and they were told to leave their home at that time. It took nearly 4 years before justice could be brought. And I just happened to be at my mother and father's house on that day. And it was like God was talking to me. He said, check the mailbox. So I went out and checked the mailbox. And this is what I took out the mailbox on that day. It says, the North Carolina Department of Justice, National Mortgage Settlement Administrator. Important reminder from your Attorney General about the National Mortgage Settlement. It is addressed to my mother and father, Willie G. Easter, Nettie J. Easter. At the time, they were living at 403 Robinson Clement Road, Dallas, North Carolina. And when I picked this up, I took it to my mother. I said, Mother, do you know anything about this? I was talking to my mother. She said, no. Now, remember, at this time, my father had already died. So he never knew that the house he was told to get out of, he was forced out illegally. The house was his and my mother's. And you see, the state of North Carolina, at the time, the Attorney General was Roy Cooper. Him and his team was trying to correct what had taken place. And it says a reminder, you must submit a claim form to receive payment. Deadline is approaching. After I read all this, that's why I asked my mother, do you know anything about it? She said, no, she didn't know anything about it. You may be eligible to receive a payment under the National Mortgage Settlement. My office has previously sent you important information about the settlement and how to get your payment. You must submit a claim form no later than January 18th, 2013. And then I realized why God wanted me there, because she knew nothing about it. So I read this. I went to the website at that time. I also called the offices of the Attorney General, and the lady on the phone told me, well, you need to download the forms, submit all the correct information. But again, at that time, my father had already passed away. And I told her that. She said, well, you need to get a copy of the death certificate, also his social security number, along with your mother's birth certificate, her social security number, and it need to be notarized. So I went to the bank. After I downloaded information from the website, this is one of the forms. It describes to you what you have to do. And again, it's coming from North Carolina Department of Justice, Mortgage Settlement Administrator. And I had to fill all this out. Had to get a death certificate proving that my father had passed away, and his social security number and her social security number, and I had to get it notarized through her bank. Now, this is just copies I have left over. And this is the next form I had to fill out, the National Mortgage Settlement Claim, and it's addressed to my mother and father's previous address, and the mortgage loan number and the house they were trying to get, the one they were told to get out of. The house was 307 North Morris Street, Gaston, North Carolina. And it reads, in consideration for the payment from the National Mortgage Settlement, all the borrowers listed below must confirm at least one of the following. You may check more than one box if applicable, but you must check at least one box in order to get a payment. And at the time, I only checked the top box when I sent it off. But later on, I realized that everything, all three of them apply to them, but I only checked one box at a time. And it says I was unable to make payments on my loan due to financial hardship. That wasn't true. But that's the one I checked off because at the time I didn't know. My father had already passed on, and my mother didn't have a clear memory of what took place and what I was told to get out of the house, which was illegal at the time. I attempted to get a mortgage loan modification or other foreclosure alternative, but the mortgage servicer company mishandled my application or pursued foreclosure on my loan while the application was pending or after it was accepted, approved. The third one, the mortgage servicer company foreclosed trustee or their attorneys made errors in the foreclosure process or leading up to the foreclosure process. And as you notice, I had to put her name in there because she was on survival. And he had died. I had to get a birth certificate and all that and let them know he had passed away. But it was approved, and they did get a settlement. Now, you say, why do you bring this up? Because understand, when you get to the point to where you can no longer pay your mortgage due to an increase in your taxes on your home, which you're going to pay, the next step, if you can't pay for it, is to foreclose on your house. That's when they allow the sheriff deputies and law enforcement to put you out. And that's what happened to my parents. And the sheriff deputy come to the house and tell them to get out, even though the entire thing was illegal. Now I'm going to continue this video to give you more information as it comes, but I wanted to bring that to your attention because a lot of people forgot about this. It took place in 2012.